Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Good, excellent. So now we can begin from where we stopped in the last session. We begin with high performance teams. Now, a simple way of explaining the of high performance team is that the team that achieve outstanding results, they collaborate, they have vision, they share a common vision, they have a common goals, they share a common metrics, they collaborate, they challenge and they hold each other accountable. But the bottom line is that they achieve outstanding results. If you look at the US automobile or car market, it used to be the big threes, General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler. They made very beautiful cars, heavy equipment with the cars, and they have very luxury. I mean, I don't mean it in the way of cars like Lamborghini, but regular cars, mass market cars. They are beautiful looking cars. They are, nice inside and outside, but they are expensive and also they are gas guzzlers. Now, the Japanese was able to form a team after getting the knowledge from the Czar of Quality Management, Deming. They have formed teams. How and the answer is simple question: how can we make good cars that are affordable and at the same time consume less? That was it. They come about with such cars, Toyota, Nissan, and so on and so on. They were able to penetrate even the US market, which seemed to be impregnable in the past. And as a matter of fact, they set them almost in a tailspin, and to the extent that they have to reassess, and then from Japanese. Yeah. Now, that is one of the examples of what high-performance team can do. They will find them in different areas, not only in the car industry, in every industry. We have teams that assess the situation, and then from the assessment, they can get or recommend a way forward. So a high-performance team because the members have a clear vision of where they are headed and where they want to accomplish. Now, if you remember, I would say 15 years ago, to fax a document to somewhere or it's going, you need to have the fax machine and they have the line or fax number you can use. And of course, to take pictures. I won't say 15 years, I would say 20 years ago, to take pictures, photo, you have to need a photographer. And there's this small phone in those days, they call camera phone, camera phone, they call it, you can take pictures, but not as it used to be now. So that if you go to the store like this buy in those days, this digital camera very expensive, and people were, they can afford to buy it. But now, Apple have a lot of. If you go to Apple, where the main people that work in Apple, their tech department, they have teams that they can, different kind of team that work on different projects. They came out with a situation whereby you can do everything in a small compact phone. You can fax, you can take pictures, you can do all kinds of things only in your palm. So you don't need to always buy the big fast machine anymore. And the process they brought out or the outcome of that work revolutionized the whole world. Now, if you want to take a picture, you don't need to call a photographer, except if you want to take something more professional or something like that. Otherwise, unlike before, when even if to take a picture of your face, you have to go to the photographer studio. Not anymore. You can just do it at your home, anywhere, with your phone. So those are the kind of teams, the high performance, they come out with a good product, and they have a shared vision, a shared goal, and they collaborate, pick up a project, work on the project until they find a good outcome from that project. It's not always the case that that a team succeed in getting an outcome that will be revolutionary. Sometimes the team, because there are many startup companies that have similar teams, but if your product that you've developed is a product that have a short lifespan, so no matter how much deliberation and work you do, you cannot extend the lifespan of the product, or in the product that is at the twilight stage of the existence. That's what you can do. It's a lot of things working against you. Then no amount of teamwork can give you lease of life to a product. For example, I'll give you an example. There are many examples you can use for this kind of thing. When the internet came out, then before the internet, the newspaper publishing was a big business. A lot of people work in that industry. But with the advent of the internet, then the newspaper business started to dwindle. Now, many of those things can be published on that they can be published online. And so, whereas before, when you buy a newspaper like a Boston, they have it is this thick. Now it's only a single paper, not a single. I don't mean page, but a very tiny amount of paper that will give you. But all that before, they give you like a folder. When you buy a Baltimore thing for $1.50 or so, that those days you give you a tick. One session will be for education. One session will be for the general news. One session will be for business. But now it's only on one tiny section that covers everything. The rest are done online. So it's a business. Not that it is not that it is dying. But, it has come to a stage where they have to shed weight. So there's nothing like teamwork. No amount of teamwork make the newspaper business to come or regain the past glory. So things like that can happen. Or the email, the U.S. Post Office, there used to be a time when the only way you can send Christmas greetings or any kind of greetings card or something is you have to go through the U.S. Postal Service. It was a multi-billion-dollar business. But now you can send such messages on their phone, and even you can send a message that is animated. I can send the person. Let's use an example. Let's say that you want to send a birthday message to somebody. You can send the video of a birthday message. The person can open it on the phone, and the will be singing. Unlike before that, you can only write it on a card. So, as a matter of, because of that, the sales volume for greeting cards declined significantly when the cell phone and the internet came out. So then, U.S. Postal Service have been struggle to, find their feet because the internet is barely eating their lunch. Now, not that we don't send mails more or that we don't send cards and greeting cards anymore, but that monopoly they had before the advent of the internet was disrupted. Now, so when you have the chance, watch this video on what a high performance team does. I left it here for you. Now, let's look at some of the main features again. Some of the features of high performance. So the main features of performance teams are as follows. They put personal talent in work. They encourage and motivate others. They accept suggestions. They listen to different points of view. They communicate information and ideas. They resolve conflict and they negotiate conflict. They build consensus. They fulfill commitments. They avoid disruptive act or work. So basically, what some of the features of a team, a good team, an excellent. So only say that this one apply this whatever feature they have that are attributed to them. They applied it to make sure that they achieve outstanding results. So what do teams do? From what I have said so far, you know what teams do. They do a lot of work. Now, simply put, teams as often set to study specific problems and recommend solutions to those problems. For example, during the time of COVID-19, now many businesses, when the COVID-19 restrictions we are implemented, travel restrictions, so many kind of restrictions. Now, the government realized that if they allow businesses to go through this without any form of assistance, or they allow people to go through this without any form of assistance, the economy will basically become crushed. We'll go into a deep recession because people are afraid to go out. People cannot go to work. How do they have bills? How many evictions landlord evictions are we going to have? The whole could be in a disarray. So they formed a team, work on that, and the team in different places, not only in the US federal government level, but even with at CDC level, they all make their recommendations. Okay, pay some stimulus amount of money so that people will continue to spend money. And when people spend money, businesses will make sales. So any $1 you spend become into somebody else. So when you spend money, the business may make sales. Now the business owners, that money you spend with their income. The confidence that they have that they will be getting income from you will give them also the other confidence to take their family out to vacation. And the money they spend in that vacation become income that the resort they went to. Now, certain amount of money will pay for the landlord so that they don't eject people who could not afford the rent. The businesses themselves, because the sales cost naturally was low, and they can afford to keep some of their employees in the payroll. It's okay, don't worry, we're gonna give you a payroll protection so that you can still keep some amount of employees in your payroll, and we cover you some of the amount of money so that they continue to be in business. So a lot of task forces were set up, committees have presented recommendations that are implemented, and which made us to emerge from almost 2 years of the tiny burst COVID-19 was messing with the whole world. And we emerged from it without going into a recession. So there's a team, several teams are set up to work on this, and the recommendation they made, we are successfully out. We didn't have significant business collapse. Of course, the system wasn't perfect, but the outcome was good. You had a positive outcome. We don't have unemployment wasn't go down so much. Instead, we have low unemployment. Excuse me. Now, and so on and so forth. Now, we have teams that run teams. They consist of people with the formal responsibility of leading the organization and their counterparts. So, they exist at all levels of responsibility, which I just mentioned, at the government level, at the individual government department level, at the corporate level as well. For example, the airline industry, which were almost went into life support because of the COVID-19 restrictions. So they were able to go inside their boardrooms and go back to their drawing board and brought out what they needed from the government that will help them to stay afloat, whether it is a loan or not. Stay afloat. So the bottom line is that we recovered and air travel increased back again to where it was. If the government didn't have all this, all these recommendations from different or houses, it would have been a very big night for us. So now another team that are routines, so we have that they exist in all level of responsibility from the individual work unit, which we know that we could be composed of a team leader, and then of the members, then to the top management level where we have the CEOs and other executives. Now, usually they address any key issues, things like identifying the purpose of the organization, their goals and goals, including crafting the strategies, and then making, well, I won't say makes it, convincing others to support them. Now, a company might bring up a new product that is not known to the public. Maybe a company like Coca-Cola might bring up a new type of drink, and they want to make it, introduce it to the market. Now, usually they will have a kind of team that they will be assigned to conduct some kind of survey, and that we give them information of the kind of marketing strategy that they will use to push the product into the market. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that each goal or each objective the company wants to achieve, there are a certain group of people that are assigned with the job of working towards achieving that goal. Whether it is the goal is on the umbrella of a particular department of the company, those will be on the, I would say be on the trench, doing things we lead to the achievement of that goal. We work in the form of teams. They might assign a team to work on sales. They might assign a team to work on the labeling, type of label to use for the product. They might assign a team to, of course, with the quality control and so on and so forth. Which leads us the next thing in line. Okay. Team that make or do things. So this work, another one for them is work units. They are work units that perform ongoing tasks like marketing, sales, system analysis, and manufacturing. So members of the teams, they must have what you call an effective long-term working with one another. They also have to need to have technologies and operating systems. Now, of course, the external support that they needed, any kind of support, whether it's external or internal, they need to help them to achieve the goal. Then, of course, they need energy. Energy. Motivation can, if you are motivation can trigger you to develop a mindset that makes you energetic. And if you're able to transfer that to your team, the outcome can be very productive and exceptional. Now, the organizations everywhere are using team days to improve performance. Government organization, private organizations, non-profit organization, and profit they all use teams that are assigned to execute a project that will lead to the achievement of one particular goal or several goals for the company. Now, a natural question to ask is now becomes, who has the responsibility for building high-performance teams? Well, naturally we say the manager or the coach or the team leader, but the team members also are involved because if you have a manager and a coach and a team leader, but the members of the team does not have the same understanding as when it comes to the goal that the team want to achieve, there's still going to be a problem. So, I wrote here that one way to view organization is as interlocking network of formal teams. So, different departments have the different people assigned to execute certain jobs. Different departments have this. So we can see that the company becomes an interlocking network of teams, formal teams. Now we can look at the types of team we have. They are called the same different names, but when we discuss it now, you see that they basically do the same or similar work. Now, formal teams, they are so called because they are created and officially designated to serve a specific organization purpose. So we have things like departments. We can have marketing research department. That means a team of workers assigned to do the work of marketing in that organization. We have you can have divisions or consumer product divisions. Everybody in that department or division is a member of a team of that group that are assigned to work on the consumer product. Now we have temporary committees. Usually temporary committees are assigned to do a particular job. And once the job is over, they are disbanded. For example, let's say that a private owned college have so many delinquent accounts from current students or ex-students. And they don't have a good department. The financial aid department don't know what to do about it. Now they might set up a team within that financial aid department. So, okay, whether it is 2 people or 4 people or 3 or 5, your job is to work on these delinquent accounts to see that they are collected. You have 6 months to think of a way to get them back, and then after that 6 months, you'll be evaluated to see what is going on. Now, the time of focus only on that collection accounts. After that 6 months, if they're able to collect 90% of them, and the other 10% are incollectible, they have done their job. Now, they can be disbanded and reassigned to different other duties within that department. And then, by that time, the school might have another policy to stop that kind of delinquency from occurring in the school. So we call that kind of thing temporary committee or task forces, which means teams. Now we have informal teams that have this can be informal. They're not really a formal. Things like friendship groups or interest groups. They're informal. So a group of friends can just decide to have meetings or they might come together as a friends and decide to have contribute to charity or help some charity organization every month, or it can be, so it's not really formal, something that is, they have network of informal groups where they emerge or coexist as shadows to the formal structure. They don't really have any assigned purpose or endorsement. It might be a group of friends, and they like to do something that will serve as a way of giving back to the community. There's okay, this year, this is what we are going to do. We are going to contribute money and donate to this charity. Stuff like that. There are many groups like that do stuff like that. Or it can be interest groups. Let's say something like the fraternal order of the police or something like that. They might have teams that are within themselves, within the organization, that are assigned to deal with several issues or specific issues that pertains to any kind of problem that those in the police force may be having. It can be like that. So they're not really formal, just informal interest group. So you can have teams within them as well. Now, I elaborated more on this, on friendship group and interest group. So a friendship group can be people with natural affinities for one another. So they might be that their members go to work together, or that they take breaks together, or they do things outside the workplace together. Now, for the interest group, it may be also be job related, but the bottom line is that there are persons that share common interests. Things like community service, I think I mentioned it, sports, religion. Now, a few things that we need to know as follows: that even though they call them informal groups, you can see them, they can be places where people join to complain, or where they join to spread rumors, or where they join to disagree with what is happening in an organization, because an organization can have that kind of informal groups that spread rumors, or even disseminate grapevine news or information within the organization. Now, they can also speed up workflow as people assist, as the member of them their member assist each other in ways that cut across the formal structure. Yeah. So it can be that what they do is to provide companionship to their members, or they provide something like a sense of personal importance that will be missing from the those of them that are involved or are members of the formal group. So something that is missing in the formal group, the informal group will, provide that, take care of that deficiency. Now, we have a cross-functional teams. Now, this one is made up of experts that specializes in working together to achieve a particular goal. Now, the members for that team might come from different departments, from research and development, from design, engineering, marketing. For example, a cross-functional team might be given the job to find a way to improve the relationship between customers, or to better satisfy the customers. So in that case, you can get team from different departments. The marketing department might say, okay, because the marketing is not only about sales promotion, marketing is about building the customers. They might say, okay, let us spend $1 million in marketing. to bring more, create more awareness and bring more customers into the or attention of more customers. Then those in engineering might say, okay, to be able to do this, we need to have an improvement on the product, on the quality of the product, and this will cost so and so amount of money. Then then that will raise the eyebrows of those in the finance department. Oh, the budget we have cannot cover so and so amount that you mentioned. 1 million is how do we trim the cost down so that we can do this marketing, promotion, then provide a product or service that the customer will like, and at the same time, don't make our accounts go into red. So it can be different team, different people from different departments. Each of them will now say something about how the cost of that marketing department will affect them, the whole place, the whole group. Now, if it is a bad product and you market it, then you market it. If it's a bad product or service and you market it extensively, that means you're marketing it to death. So you have to make sure that the quality is good as well. And then when you create awareness about the existence through marketing, it will pick up from there. Now, although functional teams are usually permanent, cross-functional teams are often temporary, lasting for as little as a few months. Yes, remember this is a sales promotion, so it has a beginning and time frame and end. Because you're not gonna promote all every for the whole year. Doing the same promotion is a very project. So you have to make sure that you pick a time frame, make all the kind of improvements you do for the product. You market it to the extent that the momentum of the marketing campaign will be enough to create the desire and awareness that will generate sales. So that can make it to be sufficient enough to make the market the product or service to be independent with respect to the kind of likeness that the customers have for it. Now, we have problem-solving teams. This one, they created them. They are temporary team. If something is having there's a particular problem in the organization, they can set up this kind of team to deal with that problem. For example, a place like Baltimore City, I'm sure you guys are aware of this. We have a lot of the crime rate is very high, and the city might decide to set up a team that will look into this problem of high crime rates. Homicide rate is high among the youth. What policy are we implementing now? Is this policy working? If it's not working, what alternative policy shall we implement that will help or go a long way in bringing the crime rate down? Now, now that you see many like they're having a campaign for state attorney. You see many of the contestants saying, if I come in, I'm going to set up the committee or team, or I will work on this to bring the crime rate down. I will do this, I will do that. All those do it alone. They have to set up a team of advisors who will now look, into each of the solutions they will proffer that will work, that will reduce this crime. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But the bottom line that usually that's a task force that are set up to take care of that problem, and then that task force will do their investigation, see what is going on, profile, bring out a solution, and if the solution is implemented, in most cases it works to address the problem. Now, a business can do that too. Now, if the excuse me, if the number of there was a time, I think I don't remember if it's still going on, but there was a time that it was said that you cannot, those that are restaurants in Baltimore City cannot no longer use, I think, a styrofoam to, sell food items, or and they cannot use no longer use plastic bags. And the grocery store cannot use when you go to a grocery store, they can't use in Baltimore City, you can't use plastic bags anymore. You have to use the store have to find a way to get another item that they other than plastic bag to package items for customers. Now, the affected restaurants or stores, I said this is a problem. Once we get to that time frame that the city gave us, we can no longer do this. So we have to figure out a way to find an alternative product to styrofoam and plastic bags that will be using. It will be cost effective, and it will be also a good packing material that we not only contain this item that the customer bought, but we also make the customer happy. So a task force can work on that and say, okay, if it is a recycled paper that we'll be using, okay, let's do it and see what happens, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, employee involvement team. This team, the term employee involvement team applies to a wide variety of teams. The members meet regularly to examine important workplace issues, things like ways to improve quality, ways to better satisfy customers, ways to raise productivity, and so on and so forth. A good example of this is what they call the quality cycle. The quality cycle simply means a small team of persons that meet periodically to discuss and make proposals for ways to improve the quality of product or service that the company provides. Then we also have the self-managing teams. So this kind of team, they operate without managers, and they are responsible to complete work processes. Another name they have, they also call them self-directed teams. The reason for that name is that they are given a project and they do it themselves without any manager that tell them go from point A to point B. A good example I have here, the Eastman, the Tennessee Eastman, which is a division of the former Eastman Kodak company. And that team was set up to, they are made to be responsible for the whole product line, things like processing, lab work, packaging, and so on and so forth. Now, we call them self-directed because, as the name implies, they direct their own activities themselves. Then we have virtual teams. They call them virtual teams because they don't see each, they are located in different parts of the country. They don't have a physical presence. So members convene and work together through computer mediation instead of working face to face. It is very common these days now, since we have this COVID-19. People work in electronic space, and they are free from constraint of geographical distance. So they meet the same way the regular teams meet, make decision, look at the problem, assess the situation, and then provide a solution. But the only difference that they meet virtually through the internet. Okay. Now we have less than 1 minute. So if you time up out, please log back in after 10 minutes. Okay. Whenever it times us out, wait for 10 minutes and log back in. So virtual team bus is very common these days, like I did, and it became even more popular. Okay. think we have less minutes to stay.